How's it going, everybody? My name is Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. I'm a mid-six-figure full-time Amazon seller, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some financials, showing you some sourcing methods to find out exactly how hard it really is to make $100 a day doing online arbitrage. This is a pretty popular video topic, so I wanted to kind of give a real in-depth look into what kind of legwork it actually takes to make $100 a day, how much money you're going to need, and give you a couple starting points for how you could potentially find products to find and flip on Amazon. If you're new around here, I have a free Amazon seller Discord server. There's over 12,000 members in there sharing all kinds of great free information. There's a link down below. I'd love to see you in there. Let's jump into the video. So before we dive into the logistics of how exactly you're going to be able to find these products, I wanted to kind of give you a realistic expectation for how much money you should expect to have on my super pretty spreadsheet here. Clearly spent hours developing it, but it's real simple. I'm just going to show you exactly how much money you would need to be able to spend to make this $100 in profit. It's a pretty easy calculation here. So in general, as an Amazon seller, you're going to make around 40% ROI. Could be higher, could be lower, depending on your business model, depending on how much volume you're doing. Generally, as you start out, your ROIs will be pretty decently high, and then as you get into volume and just need to spend more money faster, you're going to sacrifice on ROI just so you can keep things moving. So let's say you have a really bad first month, you don't really know what you're doing, you're only working at 20% ROI, or you're just a big bulk seller. In this case, you'd probably be making about 20% ROI. Definitely not. These are pretty bad numbers if you're doing 20% ROI, but to kind of run these calculations here, to make $100 in a day, you'd have to spend $500 every day. That sounds pretty scary. I make about 40% ROI. That's my average. I did $200,000 in sales last month, so I focus a little bit on the volume approach. So my ROI last month was 40%. Which means to make $100 a day, you're going to have to be spending $250 a day. And keep in mind that all of this is in a perfect world where you're going to be able to sell everything exactly for the prices you predict, exactly when you predict, and that just doesn't happen, unfortunately. So these spend numbers are going to be a little bit higher than I'm showing here, but I just wanted to kind of give you a rough idea. It's pretty much impossible to predict all the other things that could happen here. And then let's say you're really good at sourcing inventory. Maybe you're on a little bit of a smaller scale. Maybe you do retail arbitrage. Your ROI might be somewhere around 60%, and this is just like a little experiment. We'll stop here, but if you have pretty good ROIs here, you'd only need to spend $166 every day in order to make $100 in profit on Amazon. And just for the heck of it, we can do 30 times that just to see how much you'd need to be spending every month to make $100 doing online arbitrage. So in this case, here's what you need to be spending every month. If you have 20% ROI, it's $15,000 and so on. So in order for me to make $100 a day in profit, I have to spend $7,500 a month. Fortunately, my spending goal every day is about $2,000 to $3,000. I'm working on setting some new goals for the new year, but you can just see what's possible. $100 a day makes a pretty big difference. All you have to do is spend $7,500. I guess I say all you have to do. That's probably pretty intimidating, especially if you're a beginner, but just wanted to break down those numbers real quick. So let's go ahead and jump into two of my personal favorite sourcing methods to actually go ahead and find products to sell. So the first method I want to show you is actually a fairly new method that I've discovered. The first lead into it is not new, but if you're brand new to Amazon, what I like to do is I search for great value, which is Walmart's brand of products. You're just going to click on any of these. Let's do this one just for the heck of it. So you're going to look at these products, and from here, we can reasonably infer that the people on this listing are also selling products profitably. So instead of having to dig through websites, comparing prices directly to Amazon, we can kind of get a curated list of what other people are selling. That'll kind of get us started in the right direction. This is called reverse sourcing. This is something I do a ton. I think it's super powerful. And I like to use this tool over here called SellerAmp that I've recently discovered. I'll move myself over there. So what I do with SellerAmp is I go down here to the sellers on the listing, and I'll just go ahead and click through to one of the FBA sellers, because that's what I like to do. I like to do FBA, which is where we ship directly to Amazon, and then Amazon fulfills that orders when the customer buys it. And here we're going to get a big list of products that we can go ahead and look through. And the thing that I really like about SellerAmp is that we can see all kinds of data right at a glance. So in this case, we can see the Keepa graph, we can see who's on it. This is really nice to be able to check and see. We can see at a glance if any of these have Amazon on them, because if Amazon's on these listings, we definitely don't want to be competing with Amazon in those cases. So we're going to use, I like to use this box right here, this max cost option, and you can actually configure this max cost option to meet whatever ROI you want. You could reference back to the beginning of the video. If you don't have a ton of money to spend, maybe you set this to 60%. I have it set to 25% just to kind of get a rough idea, and then from there, I like to do a little bit of extra legwork just so I don't miss anything. But you could set this to 60% if you're just getting started out, don't have a lot of money to spend, focusing on those really high profit opportunities. But the way that I like to use this is I'll look at this Keepa graph over here. If you're not familiar with how to read a Keepa graph, there's going to be a video, I guess, right where I am, that'll help you read Keepa charts a little more effectively. If you are brand new, I would highly encourage you to learn Keepa very well. So what I'm going to be looking for here is consistent prices. Amazon's not on it, and that buy box line stays pretty consistent, just like I said. And we're also looking for the sales rank to be fairly consistent as well. Or if you want to get into seasonal items, now's probably not a great time since it was just Christmas. You can see already. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. You can see already how these green lines are going up on these Christmas items. This means that they're getting less and less popular because they're moving away from 0 here. 0 being or 1 being the fastest products on Amazon, and then it goes up until they're really not selling at all. So you can see here all these Christmas lights and stuff. The Keepa charts are increasing, meaning that they're selling less and less. So this is something we probably want to avoid. But based on this max cost option, I'm just going to be browsing through here and kind of seeing what I could reasonably probably get for that price. In this case, we're probably not going to be able to get this coffee for $3.27, so I'm just going to keep on chugging here. Looks like a lot of this is holiday stuff, but this one is kind of interesting to me. The price is not as consistent as I would like to see over here, but it is selling decently fast. It's sold for a lot of money in the past. And it looks like it's currently selling for about $11.50. This seller is selling it for $11.50. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and check out this product. I'm just going to go ahead and click through here. And I'm also going to press this Google button, and that's going to go ahead and Google this product for me to see if we can find it in stock somewhere. So it looks like Walmart has this for $5. It would show my address, so it's there for $5. And then over here on Amazon, I'm going to go ahead and actually pull up the Amazon page so that I can run some fee calculations and look at the Keepa graph in more detail. So it's looking like it sells pretty consistently recently for this $11.50-ish price. We're unfortunately only able to buy it for $5, not the $4 that our fee calculator wanted. So we can go ahead and use the fee calculator on this extension. Well, it's vanished on me, so I'll go ahead and use my other fee calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and punch in $11.50 here, and then I'm also going to go ahead and punch in $5. So in this case, it looks like we're not getting the profit that we really need here. We're only getting 16% margin, which is a little less than I like to go for. So we're going to go ahead and skip here. But that is kind of the basic process of this. I'm not going to make this a whole sourcing video. If you want to find some of those videos, there's tons of those on my channel. But this is the process that I've personally been using this method to do pretty much all of my sourcing recently. And I've been teaching this to my VAs. If you're not familiar with what a VA is, it's just a virtual assistant. I have several employees from the Philippines that find the products for me. So I've been teaching them this method. So let's go ahead and jump into one of my other favorite methods, and then we'll call it a day. So my other personal favorite method for finding products that are going to help you make $100 a day on Amazon is using this software called Tactical Arbitrage. I have tons of videos on this as well if you want a more in-depth guide, but very briefly how I would use this software is I'm just going to be looking at the websites that I like to source from until I find a sale, and then I plug the sales into Tactical Arbitrage. That's just how I use it. So it looks like we've got a vitamin sale on Walgreens. I love these sales. So let's go ahead and try out these Walgreens brands vitamins. We're just going to copy this URL up here. It looks like everything in this category is either buy one get one free or buy one get one 50% off. I'm going to go ahead and run it at buy one get one 50% off just in case. I don't want to be looking at a bunch of junk that's not actually buy one get one 50. So we can go ahead and plug in Walgreens here on the website. And then under category, we're just going to paste that link. We're going to do 1 to 99. You could count the pages, but it doesn't really change anything. So for example, it's wanting to know the end page. So it wants you to punch in 2. It doesn't really change anything. It still runs the search in the same speed and everything like that. So we've gone ahead and plugged that in. It's going to be searching through all those items. We're going to punch in that store discount of 25%. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and check my Rakuten over here, which is my cashback service. This is just nice to squeeze out a couple extra percentage points in profit, just extra free money. So I'm going to go ahead and check out Walgreens here. It looks like everything else besides contacts is 2%. So we're going to go ahead and add 2% there, and then 2% for my credit card. So we're getting 4% cash back. Then you can also punch in your sales tax. I ship to Florida, so I have a 6% sales tax there. And then there's a tons of filters. If you want a in-depth guide on that, there's going to be a video up in that corner. But after that, you're all good to go. The main magic of using tactical arbitrage, a lot of people don't have success with this software because they're not pointing it at the right discounts. I pretty much never scan websites at full price. I'm always punching in discounts, stuff like that. And that's how it's really able to be effective. So you're just going to go ahead and press search, and then it's going to start powering through those items. So after that search actually runs, it's going to pull up a bunch of data on your View Data tab. You're going to activate some filters, whatever filters you like to use. Again, that video that I mentioned has a bunch of very nice filters. I'm just going to go ahead and run my filters. And at this point, you're going to just be looking through these Keepa charts. Again, this is where knowing how to use Keepa comes in super handy. So in this case, you're just going to be looking for items that are consistent prices, consistent sales rank, just like this one. But the main problem with a lot of these listings, the tactical arbitrage is going to pull up, especially depending on the website. It looks like the team's been running some searches on iHerb. A lot of these websites will pull up products that are actually private label, or they're wholesale, where the main brands are controlling most of the sales. So in this case, and then we've got other issues on this one further, where IP Alert is telling us that this brand would give us an IP complaint. So you can see there's a good amount of tools that go into finding some profitable products. They're not all necessary, especially when you first start. When you first start, you can get away with just using Keepa. But this is just what I use. I just want to show you everything that I'm using so that you're able to be as good as possible at selling on Amazon. So in this case, it looks like we're seeing an IP alert, and also this price is super consistent. It's honestly a really weird looking Keepa chart because that price graph is going away for whatever reason. One other thing you can look for to find products that are that you're probably not going to be able to sell is you can go to data and check the buy box statistics here. This is a little bit of an advanced strategy, but you can see that this seller has won 100% of the buy box, which means that they are getting pretty much all the sales on this listing. So that's just one other little thing to look out for when you're sourcing products. There's lots of steps that you can go through. You can make it very complicated. You can make it fairly easy. It's just up to your personal risk tolerance. But you're just going to be scrolling through these items that Tactical Arbitrage has been able to search through until you're finding items that meet all of your criteria. It's certainly time consuming, but the nice part about this is that pretty much everything can be outsourced. At this point, I've had pretty much everything in my business is outsourced. Pretty soon I'll be outsourcing someone who has my credit card and spending the money for me. Other people are finding the leads for me. There's a lot of room to grow, but I hope this has been pretty useful for you. So hopefully this puts you one step closer to actually making $100 a day doing online arbitrage on Amazon. If I did help out your business in this video, please help out mine and hit that subscribe button down below to make it kind of a trade. I'd really appreciate that. Feel free to drop any questions, comments, anything like that you have down below. I'm always happy to answer those, but I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.